Alright, let's talk about Garou, City of the Wolves. First things first, this footage you're seeing right here of King of Fighters 15 is actually from the very first beta. I was looking if I had any footage left of this game, and this is the only footage I could find, the beta footage. So, I didn't want to use the City of the Wolves gameplay because, honestly, I really want to compare this game to City of the Wolves instead, because this game has really ruined my hype for SNK games. So yeah, let's just get into it. Also, excuse if the gameplay is bad. Like I said, this is from the beta of the game. No one knew how to play the game. This is literally from the beta. Alright, anyways. Garou City of the Wolves has been officially revealed. Gameplay has been shown. And let's just start with the obvious. The game looks good. Sounds good. And the mechanics are super interesting. They're taking the Street Fighter 6 approach to the mechanics. Overall, super excited about that stuff. But the main problem comes in from everything else. So let's just go over the whole list, right? I'm sure everyone is very interested in the game and the way it looks and the mechanics, right? It looks super fun. There's no denying that, right? Game looks like it's gonna be a blast to play. Zero, you literally are lying if you say otherwise. But let's just get into it. Number one, if you look at how bad the netcode is in this game, I mean, I'm sure you've been noticing it if you've been paying attention to this gameplay. Even though this is the beta, it didn't change much in the final release. So let's just point that out there. The netcode in this game is decent. That's about it. I would say it's even slightly below decent, honestly. The netcode in this game always sucked for me. It always did. So, yeah, there's that. That's just one problem that this game had. The next problem that this game had is literally everything else. So, if you don't know, KOF 15 launched at $60. It was a full price game. If you also don't know, in the first year of the game being out, it got $60 worth of DLC characters. It got 2 season passes in the first year. Now, here's the problem with that. If you also don't know, KOF 15 was unplayable for the first year the game was out. There was a glitch with matchmaking in KOF 15. And matchmaking in KOF 15, it would take you about 5 to 20 minutes. I know that's a big range, but it really was just random. It would take you about 5 to 20 minutes to find one match. And no, it was not a player-based issue. There were plenty of people on the game. It was strictly a matchmaking glitch that they ended up fixing over a year after the game came out. It took them over a year. So they prioritized releasing 2 season passes instead of making the game playable for over a year. That's step number one. That's the main problem right there. KOF 15 is an incredibly cheap feeling game. It does not feel AAA at all. And here's the thing, I understand that SNK is a very small company, but you cannot be releasing games for these prices and expect me to be like, oh, it's a small company, give them a break. Bro, if you wanted everything in this game, it costed $120 in the first year. And you couldn't even play the game. For a whole year, you couldn't play the game. You would find maybe 5 to 6 matches if you were lucky. If you were lucky in a whole hour. Maybe. On average, for me, it was more like 4 matches an hour. Game was literally unplayable. It was like this for over a year. So, yeah. I understand that SNK is a small company, but like I said, $120, $60 game, $60 DLC, and they couldn't even fix the servers. If you want to be treated like a small company, you have to act like a small company. Here's pretty much my take on City of Wolves, and I understand it's just my opinion, but I'm going to be honest here. I think that I'm spitting some facts right here. I think what I'm saying right now is nothing but the truth. City of Wolves will decide the fate of SNK games for a while. Guiltygearstrive is the most popular Guilty Gear game by so much. It is so much more popular than any other Guilty Gear game. Street Fighter 6 has reached a level of popularity and sales that no other Street Fighter game has reached in a very long time. Same with Tekken 8. Mortal Kombat 1 also sold really well, even though people don't really talk about it. Another thing, Street Fighter 6 is one of the highest quality fighting games ever made. The amount of content in that game is comparable with any other genre of game. Matter of fact, I believe that if Street Fighter 6 did not come out in 2023, because 2023 was one of the best years of gaming ever. If it did not come out in 2023 and it came out in a year that was a bit slower, I believe that Street Fighter 6 would have been nominated for Game of the Year. That's how good that game was. And guess what? Tekken 8 is just as good. Just as amazing of a game. What I'm trying to say is that the genre of fighting games as a whole has reached the highest level of quality that it's ever been at. And me personally, I am extremely concerned if SNK is even capable of reaching even half of that quality. KOF 15 was a $60 game and it launched with an arcade mode and online that didn't work. And that was it. Now here's the thing. At the time, that was the standard. Most fighting games only had an arcade mode and that was it, right? That was the standard at the time. However, that is not the standard anymore. Because here's the thing. We have Street Fighter 6, the highest quality Street Fighter game ever. Tekken 8, the highest quality Tekken game ever. Mortal Kombat 1 is not that great, but it is a better game as a package than KOF 15 was. Even though it is not a good game. I'm not calling it a good game at all, because it's not. But it was a better game than KOF 15, and at least it's literally playable. And then we have Project L, or 2XKO. A free fighting game that is disgustingly high quality looking. And guess what? Even if it doesn't have a lot of content, it's free. This is make or break for SNK. Here's the thing. If SNK can't reach the level of quality that these new fighting games have, then I simply think the game should not be $60. I think the game should be $40. If the game launches with the same amount of content as KOF 15, I think the game should be $40. Because simply put, it's not able to compete with today's fighting games. If it's on the same level as KOF 15. Here's the thing. If the game launches at $60, and it's on the same level that KOF 15 is, the community is not going to grow. It's going to be the same niche community that plays these games. If you want a giant community with all these new players, like how Guilty Gear got, how Street Fighter is getting, how Tekken is getting, you have to reach the level of quality that those games have. If you don't do that, then City of Wolves is going to be another niche SNK game that only a few people play. And that's just the way it is. And it really is sad. It really is sad. Because I'm not going to lie to you, KOF 15 was an insanely greedy game. I mean, if KOF 15 was popular, it would have been blasted online. It would have been absolutely blasted for launching with no content, which was the standard at the time, but still, the game didn't even work for a whole year, and they had the nerve to release 2 season passes before they patched the game. Absolutely insane. The game was literally unplayable. You could not play online. It would take you sometimes 20 minutes to find the game, and like I said, that was not a player count issue. It was a matchmaking issue, because after they fixed it, it was completely fine. But again, for me, it was too late. It was over a year later. It was just too late. So that's my concerns about City of the Wolves. Is SNK going to step up their quality, or are we getting another, you know, cheaper, lower budget game? Because if that's the case, then they're going to have to lower the price. Because it simply just can't compete with today's standard, unless they raise their standard. Other than that, if they don't raise the price, they're just going to have the same small community, or if they don't lower the price, my bad, if they keep the price the same, and if the game is the same quality as KOF 15, then the game is just going to end up having the same little niche community that it always had. So, if you're an SNK fan, you're going to have fun in the game regardless. But if you want your game to reach the levels that Street Fighter has reached, Guilty Gear, Tekken, it's going to need to raise the quality. Because we are officially out of the days where fighting games would launch with an arcade mode, an online mode, and that's it. Those days are over. That does not cut it anymore. And if your game does launch with that, chances are the game is going to become very unpopular. You're not going to have this giant new community rising in like you've seen with guiltygearstrive or Street Fighter 6 or Tekken 8. And don't get me wrong, guiltygearstrive did not have a lot of content. It had pretty much no content. But again, guiltygearstrive released 3 years ago. That was before the new standard of fighting games. So, and it still absolutely popped off. Mainly because at the time it was the first ever fighting game to have rollback netcode, and it like really was implemented really well. And overall, the game was just easier to play than the older games. Anyways, that's pretty much all I had to say. You know, City of the Wolves is the best looking SNK game in terms of 3D. Best looking 3D SNK game. It has the most interesting looking mechanics. They look visually amazing. Gameplay wise, they look fun. It literally looks like a different version of Street Fighter 6, and there is nothing wrong with that. It looks like KOF, Fatal Fury. Looks like if Fatal Fury was Street Fighter 6. And there's nothing wrong with that, because Street Fighter 6 is an amazing game. And Fatal Fury is a really fun game, so combine those two things and you're going to get a really fun game. It's just that everything outside is very concerning, because SNK has been a very... all their games have been very low budget feeling, and that's because they're not a very big company. But, again, they're going to have to stop charging these prices, or they're going to have to raise their quality, either one. Because if they don't, City of Wolves is going to become a niche game just like all the other games are. Is there anything wrong with that? No. But me personally, I would love to see KOF compete with all these other fighting games. Or not KOF, but SNK in general. I would really love to see that. Because I love Samurai Showdown, and I love the older KOF games. And I love the first Garou game, even though I haven't played it that much. But I love KOF 13, I love KOF 2002. The new Samurai Showdown game is amazing. I love Samurai Showdown 5. I really like SNK games. It's just that KOF 15 was just not a very high quality game. It was a pretty low quality game, honestly. Especially that they released all that DLC and you couldn't even play the game. It was just like, wow. I literally, I tried to keep it alive on my channel, but I couldn't record. I literally couldn't record. It took so long to record one video. It was just insane. So yeah, sorry for the clips. I know the clips were all over the place, but like I said, I really didn't have footage of this game, and I'm not going back and playing this game. I'm sorry. Overall, I'm super hyped for City of the Wolves, and I can't wait to play it. I just hope that SNK realizes that they have to make a move here, because this is a chance for their game to reach big numbers, a new community, and really put SNK in the spotlight. And I really hope it happens. Peace.